Hey up and good morning. What I'm going to do today is a inbox review of this, which is, let's just tip this up a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. It's the Tamiya Mobelwagen in 1/35 scale. Kindly bought for me by Tracy and Michael, my sister and fella, for Christmas last year, and I've been waiting for an opportunity to build this. I've got a good idea what I want to do with it on a diorama, but time has put paid to that for the moment. But I just thought I'd do a little inbox review because I've not seen this around too much, and it's a really nice looking kit. A lot of interesting parts on it. You can weather it quite nicely as well. So this is my box review. Let's have a little look inside it. Usual Tamiya artwork gives us a good idea on what colours to use, and a nice little option. In the box itself, we've got individually wrapped, well, there's 2 sprues in this bag, 2 sprues in that bag, 1 sprue and 1 sprue. Then you've got your top hull section, lower hull section, instructions in Japanese and English, and then you've got 2 vinyl tracks, which again, for vinyl tracks, quite decent quality. You can make them look quite nice. I won't be well, I might do aftermarket tracks for this one, but probably won't, because I think they're fairly decent. Once you there's not a lot of sag on these tanks anyway. There's a lot of the return rollers on the top, so it stops a lot of the sag, so you won't really benefit from putting metal tracks on it. Well, you would a bit, obviously, but it's a lot of expense. I've got one here that is a Panzerkampfwagen 3, and you may be able to see that the tracks on that one, they don't sag much. Those are rubber tracks as well, and I don't know whether you can see the detail, but you can make them look quite nice. So quite pleased with that one. Rommel in his chaps in Africa, having a discussion on where to attack next. And I'll probably do this in African colours as well, and pop it on that base for photos. Right, so what have we got? So the tracks we've covered. Let's have a little look at the instructions. So as you can see on the box artwork, you've got it with the sides down, ready for action. And on the artwork here, you've got it with the sides up. So again, ready for action, but also ready for driving, and probably a bit more protection if you've got incoming. Right, there are, let's have a look, 18 stages. 18 stages in the instructions, and all fairly straightforward. There's no interior detail on this, apart from obviously the top's open, so you've got a lot of interior detail on there, which we can make nice. You've got exhaust system there. You've got a little bit of stowage, so we've got some ammunition cases and some tarpaulin rolls, usual sort of entrenching tools. We've also got figures, so we've got four figures. 4 figures. 2 of them actually sat down at the anti-aircraft guns. 1 of them loading by the looks of it, and another guy climbing on to the tank, if you can call it a tank. So we've got some quite nice detail. Fairly straightforward, I'd say, sort of intermediate kit. The top of the hull, see, we've got some quite nice detail. Get some more light on the job. Some quite nice detail inside there with this mesh type texture, which would be really nice to get some rusting effects. I have to be very careful with the it's easy to go over the top with rusting, especially on these desert camouflage schemes, because they do look nice with a bit of rust on them, but they didn't have a lot of rust in the desert because they didn't have a lot of water. So on this one I'm going to really try and scale back my rusting effects and just give it some more sort of sand-blasted, weathered effects, taking it back down to the base coat and things like that. Of course, they would have some rust because a lot of these vehicles would have been transferred from European theatre. So they would already have had a rust build up from being outside, it being scratched, being hit by shrapnel and shells and other things, and getting battered through spring, autumn, winter and summer. Lower hull, not a lot of detail on there, fairly straightforward. This again is one of the old Tamiya kits, so you can see inside it's got a place for an on-off switch and for a couple of batteries and a place to mount a motor. So, you know, if you wanted to motorize this, you can still do that. I've never done that once yet, but let's have a look in these plastics, because I don't always open these up on box reviews, but I think it's nicer to see the whole thing opened up. Stapled together, so simple. Right, let's have a little look here. So as you can probably see, there's no surface detail on there, so it's not a cast shell, it's rolled steel, obviously, and welded. There is a little bit of texture on there. Well, you can see I'm knocking things off now, paints the lights. Got some spare track links for the front of the vehicle. Shovel there. The parts are quite nicely done for an old kit, quite delicate. There's some little pieces there, if it's focusing in, there we are, little pieces, and they're quite nice. So that's the first sprue. We've also got decals, so usual numbers, few divisional badges there, and a few of the German crosses. Very basic, but they would have been quite basic if it was many more things that you would put on there, put that straight in the box. Next up, we've got wheels. Again, simple really. You can take those out, but you can see there's some nice detail on the wheels. You got the little rubber inserts there for the wheels. I will take this out of the bag because it's worth seeing the figures. These old Tamiya kits, figures aren't great to be honest with you, but they're okay to practice on, and I need the practice on the figures. I'm really useless at figures. Let's have a look. Maybe you can see a bit of the detail there. Yeah, so they're okay. You can clean them up a little bit, and let's have a look. There we are. That might be easier to see the detail now. So not a massive amount of detail, but enough for me with my proficiency on figures. There's no point me spending a fortune on resin figures just to bugger them up with a crap paint job. But they say practice makes perfect, so I'll just use a lot of these Tamiya figures. I've got a box full of them from different kits. I've just always closed the hatches up because I just can't do the figures, so I need to start working on that box of figures. So you've got your little tools here, you've got your jack, some more wheels, wire cutters, various things. Quite nice. And the last bag of sprue. Right, this is quite interesting because you've got the anti-aircraft gun here. I've never done an anti-aircraft gun on a vehicle, and look at the size of those magazines. So I'm presuming that these are 20mm shells. Probably the same guns that would be on the Messerschmitts and the Focke-Wulfs. And the same guns that would be on the Panzerkampfwagen 2s. I'm just looking at a Panzerkampfwagen 2 in here. There we are, there's one there in desert colours. And the gun barrel, let's have a look. Can always look at the instructions, but yeah, probably an extended barrel on that one for the extra distance for aircraft, but yeah, almost certainly a 20mm. In terms of detail, okay, they're quite nice, but we can make a good job of those. There's some nice little detail on the rivets and things there, you can see. I haven't got a clue whether this is actually focusing in properly. I'm just using my phone, so that's all I've got. Some nice seats there, some metal seats. So all in all, this looks a really nice little kit. I wouldn't have actually, had they gone into a shop, probably wouldn't have ever bought this. I wouldn't have even looked at it probably, but I'm so glad that Tracy and Michael got me it, because it's given me something that I probably wouldn't have bought myself, and it looks really interesting. Really interesting build. Fairly straightforward, really. I look at the tanks, I look at the sort of Shermans and the Tigers, and I tend to pick those up without looking at this sort of vehicle. So thank you guys for this. I'm going to enjoy doing this, so I'm going to put that all back in the box. Please leave your comments below if you've built this kit and you like the way it goes together, or you think it goes together not very well. Whatever comments you've got, please post them if you're watching this. And if you like the box review that I've just done for you, give me a like as well, and feel free to subscribe. I've got better videos than this on there. Not much better, most of them are rubbish. Crap camera work, zero editing, dodgy Yorkshire accent that half of people across the water won't be able to understand. But cheers.